you knew that didn't happen, right?
Can you let her finish her
I
answer?
don't know the answer to that, so I can't confirm one way or the other.
Well, you knew there were complaints because you received a letter from Calvin Firm, right?
That's one individual, yes.
Okay, and you knew that you hadn't received any investigation on those complaints, correct?
I had not.
You also knew that you were the president of the school board and that you had the authority to direct employees to do that investigation, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. 14 years. Okay, and this is an email sent on January 6th of 2023 from Teresa Folaron to various board members, including board governance, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And she says, hello, it's me again. Do you see that there?
Yes.
Does that indicate to you that she sent other emails to the board members, including board governance?
Object to form the question. Broad debate, cause
She may have.
speculation.
Okay. Do you recall now receiving any emails from Teresa Folaron?
I got one recently.
Okay. How about before that?
I can't swear by it.
Okay. So, I'll read here. It says, I hope the new year is treating all of you well. This email is regarding my concern that the NPS district is still utilizing the term Oriental as a classification term. Each month, the NPS board reviews and approves 2 documents, certified transaction and affirmative action reports. The word in question appears on both reports each month and has for years. This indicates to me that each director on the board of directors is not only aware of the term being used, but personally sanctions its continued use. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is that yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
What steps, if any, did you take after receiving this email to follow up on these concerns?
As I said again, it is not the president's responsibility to follow up on each and every item that comes through. It's actually the responsibility of board governance.
Okay. So that means you didn't do anything. Is that fair?
I didn't do anything, and then I got a letter here recently about the very same thing.
Okay.
It is the responsibility of board governance when they get these, which is why they're included, and kind of be the traffic cop, if you will, in terms of some of these issues. Not necessarily all of them, but depending on what they are, directed to their department.
Do you believe that MPS employees know that if they send communications directly to board members that they may be read but they will not be acted on?
Object to form precedence, broad
That
debate,
is not a
cause
correct
speculation.
assumption.
Well, you've testified repeatedly that it's not your responsibility to act on messages sent to you. Or did I misunderstand that?
You misunderstood that.
Okay, explain to me then what...
What I said was that my first priority and responsibility as a board director is to the constituents and to the schools and the students and staff therein.
How does that answer my question?
That question's argumentative. She answered the question the best she could. If you don't understand it, ask another question.
In terms of the paperwork that comes through with the complaints and that, if you were to check with some of the staff, you will find out that some of us, I being one of them, get to as many of these things as I can. We are human, we cannot get to each of them. Also, when issues come through and it's addressed to all of the board directors, in some cases a board director may have some connection in some way, shape, or form.
Sure.
Or some involvement, and they take it and roll with it.
Of all the documents...
It's not the traffic cop for all of the issues that go on with the district. They simply are not.
Sure. And I understand that you're saying they're not the traffic cop, but in fact, they're the directors of the school district, right?
They are directors of the district, but we are not as a responsibility to get this and say, okay, Jane over here, you take this and handle this, and Mary over here, you take this. That is not the director's.
Sure, but in fact, of all the documents that we've put in front of you, and of the ones directed to you, you have been unable to identify any action that you've taken in response to any of these documents, correct?
Check
That
foreign
is not
questions broad and
accurate
vague,
either.
Okay,
and misinterprets her testimony. Go ahead.
What you must understand is that most of these things come through governance first. And Director Mann is and was the person that would bring it up or come up with, this needs to go to committee, that type of thing. And then sometimes, if an individual wanted to take it as a project and pursue it further, they would perhaps do so through her.
sure, I understand perhaps, but I'm asking you, sitting here today, are you able to identify any time that you've responded to any of the documents that we put in front of you?
All of the documents you put before me were related to an issue that I had absolutely no knowledge of and about, which was the Folaron case and this whole thing with Holiday suing Posley.
So it's fair to say at MPS, the buck does not stop with the school board president,
I
right?
object to the foreign questions argumentative, misinterprets her entire testimony here today, broad and vague, calls for speculation. Go ahead and answer if you can.
I've answered it.
Okay. How well,
Can you let her finish her question, her answer, please?
I'm sorry if you're not, we're finished.
Simply put,
Mhm.
board presidents are not involved in each and everything. The board governance acts as a traffic cop in far too many cases, perhaps. And even if the board president were responsible for each and every issue that came through, they wouldn't be able to handle it. That's what the teams and the staffs are for, and we do get it done.
So are you saying that MPS management, I mean, who are, when you're, excuse me, I'll back that up. Please identify who you mean by the teams and the staff.
As I said before, primarily if it's an employee relations issue, it would be HR, and a lot of that goes through OAE, which is the Office of Accountability with Matt Chasen.
Okay. So am I misunderstanding it that OAE and HR are making the decisions on, for example, Teresa Falderon's case? Is that fair?
I don't know about decision-making. I don't know what they're doing, but I wouldn't say decision-making. The board has the ultimate vote on this. It comes through the board when the appropriate time comes. If there's a court case to be had and or an offer to be made, it would be brought to the board for those decisions, those votes and those decisions.
Have you ever received an offer in Teresa Folaron's case?
No,
How about Debbie Keither's case?
no.
Okay. How about,
Which is what struck me strange with one of the documents you had here for Folaron. It had something about $300,000 or so or something.
how about Deb Bowling?
Deb Bolin, yes.
Okay. Who'd you receive that from?
I don't know that I had just gotten on the board at that particular time. And yes, there was a vote on Deb Bolin.
Okay, so you voted to settle the Deb Bowling case at that time, right?
Wait. I'm going to object at this point in time. This has nothing to do with this particular case. Secondly, it's subject to that pending protective order. I'm going to instruct her not to answer this question.
Are you refusing to answer my question?
Yes, based on the attorney.
Okay, how about Benjamin Duke? Did you ever vote on Benjamin Duke?
Same.
I never heard of this stuff.
Okay, how about Melinda Forbes?
I know nothing.
You know nothing about Melinda Forbes. Okay. How about Camille Gray?
Nothing.
You've never heard of Camille Gray? Okay. So that would follow then that you've never signed a settlement agreement, or approved an agreement between Ms. Gray and the school district, fair?
To my knowledge.
Okay. And were you on the school board in March of 2019?
March of 2019?
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay. And who's Robin Peterson?
Well, Robert Peterson is the former school board director and president.
I'm sorry, I may have said Robert, but I meant Robin Peterson.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Do you believe you could be a city attorney?
Check the form question, calls for speculation.
Okay. Have you ever approved a settlement between Milwaukee Public Schools and Melissa Harris?
Again, I'm going to object. This is subject to the pending protective order. I'm going to instruct this witness not to answer that question.
I don't know.
Okay. How about Sharon Hedgewood?
Again, we're not going down this path. It has nothing to do with this case. I'm instructing this witness not to answer any questions regarding settlements of other cases.
Okay. How about Jeffrey Shropshire? Have you ever
Same.
approved a settlement agreement between Jeffrey Shropshire and Milwaukee Public Schools?
Same objection. I'm instructing this witness not to answer.
What I can tell you is that all of those names that you're reading are not known by me as cases coming through for us to do anything with. We never got that many cases.
When were you first a director of Milwaukee Public Schools?
I'm 2019, I think it was.
Okay. How about Rose Martin? Are you aware of any agreement between Rose Martin and the school board?
Again,
No.
same objection.
No?
No.
Okay. And Christian Stanley?
We're not answering these questions anymore. I'm instructing you not to answer these
Okay.
questions.
Okay, how about Rosanna Mateo?
Same. I'm instructing you not to answer these
Are
questions.
you refusing to answer this question?
Based on attorney directive, yes.
Okay. How about Lanita Tate? You know who she is?
Same. Same instruction, same objection.
You're refusing to answer whether or not you know Lanita Tate. Is that fair?
That's not the question you asked.
That's based on attorney privilege. I will not answer it.
Okay, do you know who Mandela Barnes is?
Of course.
Who's that?
He's elected, well, he was a lieutenant governor.
Okay, does he have any relation to you?
No.
No. Okay, how about Ronald Tate? Do you know who that person is?
No?
Okay. So you don't have any knowledge of whether or not Ronald Tate settled his claims with the city of Milwaukee for Milwaukee Public Schools for $350. Is that true?
Based on my attorney's recommendation, I will not answer. I have no knowledge of this repeatedly.
As I said, I'm objecting to any questions regarding settlements based on a prior filing of a protective order as well as privileges.
Do you know who Antoni Vermiglio is?
Same answer. I don't know anything about these cases.
Okay. But you believe them to be cases, is that fair?
I don't know what, I would assume that's what you're saying.
Okay. Can you recall, sitting here today, any time when you've approved a settlement between Milwaukee Public Schools and an employee?
I'm going to object to this line of question again because of a prior filing of a protective order and instruct you not to answer that question, okay?
Okay,
Okay, you're refusing to answer that question as well?
yes.
Okay. Do you have any knowledge of how much MPS spends on attorney's fees?
No,
Okay, do you approve that number at any time?
occasionally,
Okay, and so it's your testimony that you approve it without knowledge of how much MPS is spending, correct?
One of the questions broad and vague, calls for speculation, you need to answer testimony. Go ahead and answer if you can.
I've not been given a report, I've not seen a report on the total.
Okay, would you be surprised to learn that MPS has paid Mr. Reardon's law firm over $500,000?
Check the form of question lacks foundation. Calls for speculation. Go ahead and answer if you can.
No,
No, you wouldn't be surprised.
No,
Okay, and you have no, but your testimony otherwise is you have no knowledge of how much Chris Reardon's law firm has been paid by MPS.
Actually, it's not my law firm, it's the law firm I'm employed by.
Thank you for that
And
testimony.
also, I'm objecting to the foundation relevance. Go ahead and answer if you can.
what was your question again?
Did you ever approve MPS paying more than $500,000 to Mr. Reardon's law firm?
Check the form of the questions, broad bag, lacks foundation, also been asked and answered. Go ahead and answer it again if you can.
I cannot answer that because that would require me to remember what happened a year, 2, 3, 4 years ago. I don't know the answer to that. Of course, I understand that they earn a salary by providing the services to the district.
Okay, do you believe that the district paid Bulow Vetter, another law firm, over $80,000 in 1 year?
Same objections, foundation, speculation, broad and vague. Go ahead and answer if you can.
I don't have an answer for that. I don't know.
As a board director who is committed to the children of MPS, do you believe that $500,000 would be better spent on the children or legal fees?
Check the form of the questions, argumentative, broad and vague, calls for speculation. Go ahead and answer if you can.
Of course, that's always the case. We want to put as much money into the classroom as we possibly can. But attorney's fees are a cost of doing business as well. So it didn't necessarily have to be for anything negative that they would be getting paid for.
Do you believe the term Oriental is racist?
Check the form of the questions, argumentative.
I don't have an opinion on that.
Okay. Did you vote to approve the disbursements to the law firms that we've brought up here?
Check the form of questions, broad and vague, lacks foundation, calls for speculation. Go ahead and answer if you can.
If I were present, I would have.
All right, well, I thank you for your testimony here today. Do you have any questions?
No. That's okay, leave all that stuff there.
Okay.
I will walk you down.
Okay.
Stand by, the time is 11:57 a.m. We are going off the record. This will conclude today's video recorded testimony. There are 3 media units total for this deposition.